Have you ever woken up and thought, why bother? What's the point of all this? Then this session is for you. We are going to reignite that spark within you by helping you find your purpose and strive for significance in this modern world. Human beings are not meant to float aimlessly like leaves in the wind. We are goal-seeking creatures by nature. As I often emphasize, all behavior is goal-directed. Whether we realize it or not, each of us is aiming at something. The trouble is, many people aim at nothing in particular, and then they wonder why they feel lost. There's an old saying, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. Without a clear purpose or goal, life can feel empty and directionless. On the other hand, when you set your sights on a meaningful goal, you infuse your days with energy, passion, and drive. Now, when I say striving for significance, I do not mean a selfish chase for superiority over others. Significance is not about ego or being famous. It's about feeling that what you do matters, that your life has meaning and positively impacts the world around you. In my theory of individual psychology, I originally called it striving for superiority, but by that I meant striving for self-improvement, for excellence, for fulfillment of your potential, not trying to prove you're better than everyone else. Perhaps a better phrase is striving for significance and contribution. Think of it this way. Each of us starts life, as we discussed in our last session, with feelings of inferiority or smallness. We naturally strive to overcome those by achieving a perceived plus in lifealfredadler.org. That perceived plus is often our purpose, a goal or vision of life that we believe will make us feel complete, useful, and content. The great psychologist Viktor Frankl, who survived unimaginable horrors in a concentration camp, wrote that having a why is crucial. Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. He was echoing the wisdom of philosophers before him and principles very much aligned with Adlerian psychology. A strong sense of purpose, your personal why, can carry you through any challenge. So let me ask you, what is your why? What goal, if you achieved it or worked toward it, would give you a profound sense of satisfaction and meaning? If you don't have an answer right now, that's okay. Many people haven't clearly defined their purpose, but I invite you to start exploring, because once you identify something meaningful to strive for, your life will change dramatically. You will go from passively letting days pass you by to actively making things happen. Allow me to share a story. In the early 20th century, a young man named Napoleon Hill was searching for direction in life. He was a journalist, assigned to interview the famous industrialist Andrew Carnegie. During that interview, Carnegie challenged Hill. He said that if Hill was willing to dedicate many years to studying the secrets of successful people, he would open his network for Hill to learn from the greatest minds of the era. Hill accepted that challenge. He spent over 20 years meeting and learning from inventors, presidents, entrepreneurs, from Thomas Edison to Henry Ford. What Napoleon Hill discovered was that each and every one of these high achievers had a definite purpose. They knew what they wanted to accomplish with burning clarity. Hill compiled this wisdom in his classic book, Think and Grow Rich. One of Hill's key principles is exactly what we're discussing today. Desire is the starting point of all achievement, and definiteness of purpose is paramount. He said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Now imagine if Napoleon Hill had shrugged his shoulders and said, meh, I don't really know what to do with my life, and never took on that grand project. We might never have learned those lessons from so many great figures, but because he embraced a purpose to distill the laws of success, he ended up inspiring millions and living a life of significance himself. What does this mean for you? It means that you owe it to yourself to discover what drives you. Without a drive, life feels like a tedious chore. With a drive, life becomes an adventure, a mission. Your purpose doesn't have to be as grand as write a landmark book or change a nation, though it could be. It just needs to be authentic to you and larger than your day-to-day survival. It might be raising your children to be happy, responsible adults. It might be mastering a craft or art form. It might be building a business that serves your community. It might be advocating for a cause you care deeply about, such as protecting the environment or helping the less fortunate. It might even be a personal growth journey, like overcoming a challenge and then helping others do the same. One man I counseled years ago felt utterly purposeless after retiring. He had worked a routine job for decades, and once it was over, he felt like he had nothing left to wake up for. This is a common crisis, when one chapter ends and we haven't defined what the next one is. I asked him, "What have you always been passionate about or curious about, but never had time for?" He hesitated, but then sheepishly said, "Well, I always loved art. I used to sketch as a kid, but I'm no Picasso." It turned out he'd buried that interest for years. We decided to rekindle it. He set a goal to take a painting class at the local community center. That led to him painting every morning in his garage. Before long, he was hosting little art shows among friends. And do you know what he told me? He said, "Alfred, I feel alive again. I have something to look forward to every day." His paintings began to sell, but more importantly, he began to smile again. A simple creative pursuit became his new purpose and filled his life with significance and joy. You might be thinking, "That sounds nice, but I have no idea what my purpose is. How do I find it?" Let's break that down. Finding your purpose is not like finding a magical object or a single hidden secret. It's more like an ongoing discovery of what brings you meaning. Here are some strategies to help. Reflect on what energizes you. Think about times in your life when you felt deeply engaged, satisfied, or proud of yourself. What were you doing? What topics or activities light you up? They could be anything. Fixing cars, teaching someone, cooking, solving puzzles, caring for animals. Within those lies a clue to your purpose. Often, your purpose aligns with your passions or interests, because those are signals of what resonates with your core. Look at what bothers you in the world. Sometimes purpose is found not only in what you love, but in what problems or injustices pain you the most. If you feel strongly about something, like seeing kids struggle in school, or people suffering from a certain illness or the state of the environment, that strong feeling could be pointing you toward a purpose to help, to make a change in that area. Consider your talents and skills. We all have natural or developed abilities. Ask others who know you well, "What do you think I'm good at?" Their answers might surprise you or confirm a hunch. Your purpose may lie in using those talents in a meaningful way. For example, if you're great at organizing and leading, maybe your purpose involves bringing people together for a cause or project. If you're empathetic and a good listener, maybe it's in counseling or being a supportive friend and community member. Experiment and explore. This is critical. You can't just think your way into knowing your purpose. You often have to try things. Take a class, volunteer somewhere, start a side project, travel, meet new people. Exposure to different experiences can awaken new interests. Give yourself permission to explore without the pressure that it must be the ultimate purpose immediately. Purpose can evolve. Maybe you try volunteering at an animal shelter and find it deeply fulfilling. That could blossom into a larger purpose of animal welfare advocacy. or maybe not, but you'll learn something about yourself. Try and let your heart tell you what sticks. Write a personal mission statement. Businesses have mission statements, a clear declaration of their purpose and goals. Why not write one for your life? Imagine you're at the end of your life and you ask, what do I want to have contributed or stood for? Write a few sentences in present tense, e.g., my life mission is to, hi. It could be to bring beauty into the world through art, or to help others heal from trauma, or to constantly grow and spread knowledge, or even to spread joy and laughter. Don't worry if it feels lofty. You can adjust it any time. The point is to articulate a guiding star for yourself. Now, once you have even an inkling of what feels meaningful to you, it's time to set a goal associated with it. Purpose becomes real when we translate it into concrete goals and actions. If your purpose is broad, like help people live healthier lives, set a specific goal to start. Become a certified personal trainer within 2 years, or launch a healthy recipes blog. If your purpose is to explore creativity, maybe set a goal to complete a particular project, write a novel, perform in a play, etc. Goals act as milestones on the path of purpose. I'll share a personal experience. When I established child guidance clinics in Vienna, it was a lot of work. Long hours, sometimes resistance from authorities, very little pay. Why did I do it? Because I had a crystal clear purpose: to ensure every child had a chance to feel valued and encouraged. That purpose lit a fire in me that no amount of fatigue could extinguish. Each clinic that opened, each parent or teacher we trained in understanding children felt like a huge victory. It was significance, not in the sense that I was significant, but that the work was significant. I was contributing to something bigger, the welfare of future generations. When you find a purpose that is aligned with something bigger than yourself, something that contributes, you tap into an endless well of motivation. I firmly believe, and have observed, that the greatest fulfillment comes when your personal goals intersect with the greater good. That's the ultimate significance. Improving yourself in ways that also help others or society. It's no coincidence that many of the most satisfied people are those who serve: teachers, doctors, volunteers, creators whose art touches lives, parents nurturing children, and so on. Now, let's address an obstacle: fear and doubt. You might identify a dream or goal that excites you, but then immediately think, oh, but I could never do that, or what if I fail? Remember, having a purpose doesn't mean you won't have fears. It means you feel something is important enough to move ahead despite the fear. Striving for significance requires stepping out of comfort zones. In fact, the word strive implies effort and struggle. That's okay. The struggles on the way to a meaningful goal don't feel as pointless as struggles when you have no goal. They even become meaningful in themselves. Think of an athlete training for a marathon. The early morning runs, sore muscles, exhaustion. Those aren't suffering. They're part of the meaning because the athlete has a goal. Without the marathon goal, waking up at 5 a.m. to run would seem crazy. With the goal, it's purposeful. So acknowledge your fears, but don't let them dictate your decisions. Recall from our last session, courage is key, and courage grows when you are fueled by purpose. You don't need heroic courage to start, just enough to take the next step toward your aim. Let me give another example. Malala Yousafzai. As a young girl in Pakistan, she loved learning, but the Taliban tried to shut down girls' education. She decided to speak out for the right of girls to go to school. That was her purpose, dearly held, deeply significant. She was only a teenager, but her purpose gave her a voice that echoed around the world. Even after surviving an assassination attempt, she didn't give up. She went on to win the Nobel Peace Prize and continues to fight for education. Now, not everyone is called to such global impact, but her story illustrates how knowing what matters to you, education, in her case, can give you the strength to overcome enormous obstacles. Malala once said, "Weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage were born." Where did her strength, power, and courage come from? From her unwavering sense of purpose. Bringing it back to you, what do you want your story to be? Imagine your life as a book. Are you passively reading a story someone else wrote for you? Or are you the author of the next chapters? Identifying your purpose is like picking up the pen and deciding the plot. It's declaring, "This is what my life is about." It's incredibly empowering. And please note, it's never too late to find purpose. Some people find their big passion early, others later in life. Colonel Harlan Sanders was in his 60s when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken and finally realized his vision of spreading his special recipe. He had been aimless until then, but once he had that goal, even rejection after rejection didn't stop him. Laura Ingalls Wilder didn't publish her famous books until her 60s either, drawing purpose from her childhood memories. On the other hand, some find purpose young, like Malala, or like the many youth activists today. There's no right time except now. If you feel purposeless at 20 or 40 or 75, it doesn't matter. You can start exploring now. Now, I want to challenge you with a bit of homework. After this session, take some quiet time for yourself with a notebook. Write down at least 5 things you want to accomplish or experience in your life. Don't censor yourself as realistic or silly. Just write what comes to your heart, whether it's travel to Japan, write a novel, own a home, start a charity, be the best parent I can be, learn to play guitar, anything. Those desires are clues to your purpose. Then, for each, ask why you want it. Dig into the meaning behind it. Maybe travel to Japan is because you value adventure and learning about cultures. Purpose to explore and learn. Write a novel because you feel you have a story to tell that could inspire others. Purpose to inspire through storytelling. Own a home because you crave security and a place for family. Purpose to create a loving environment. Start a charity because you feel compassion for those in need. Purpose to serve the vulnerable. Learn guitar because music moves your soul and you want to express yourself. Purpose to express beauty and emotion. See? There's often a deeper layer. Once you see the patterns in your whys, choose 1 or 2 that resonate most and turn them into clear goals. Then commit to the first step. Action is what makes a purpose come alive. Finally, let me say this. A life of purpose is not a straight line upward. It has ups and downs, like any life. But what purpose gives you is a North Star, a constant point to navigate by even when seas get rough. When you face setbacks, you won't just throw up your hands and say, "I guess life is meaningless." No, you'll say, "Okay, this is a hurdle on the way to what matters. How do I overcome it?" It turns obstacles into challenges to solve rather than brick walls. Remember that your significance is not measured by others, but by the value you feel in your own pursuit. You don't have to impress anyone. This is about you living your best life as defined by you. Maybe your purpose is quiet and won't make headlines. That's perfectly fine. If it's tending a beautiful garden that brings peace to you and your neighbors, that is significant. If it's being a reliable, loving friend to those around you, that is significant. If it's creating a small business that gives 5 people a good livelihood, that's significant. Never let anyone tell you that what you care about is too small or too big. It's your heart that must decide. So let's recap the main points to take with you. Life feels empty without goals. Identify a purpose to give you direction and motivation. Purpose means striving for significance, aiming to become the best version of yourself and contribute something meaningful. To find your purpose, explore your passions, your pains, your talents, and try new things. Listen to what resonates in your soul. Once you sense a purpose, set concrete goals and take action. Purpose without action remains a dream. Purpose with action becomes a reality. Let your purpose be bigger than yourself if possible. When you include helping others or the world, it supercharges your motivation and fulfillment. It's okay for your purpose to evolve over time. The important thing is to always have something to look forward to, something you're working toward. And remember, it's never too late and never too early to live with purpose. By striving for significance, you transform your life from a series of tasks or obligations into a mission. Every morning you wake up knowing, I have something important to do today. It may be small, but it matters in the grand scheme of my life. That is a powerful way to live. It pulls you out of bed with enthusiasm rather than dread. In closing, I urge you to take that courageous step of deciding what you want your life to stand for. Dare to dream and dare to pursue that dream. The world needs people who have come alive with purpose. When you light your inner fire, you also light the way for others. As you leave here, carry this thought. You were born with potential and a unique role to play in this world. Finding your purpose is finding that role. No matter how modest or grand it may seem, it's yours. Embrace it. Strive for it. And watch as the once gray landscape of your life blooms with color and meaning. Thank you, and may you go forth with clarity and passion to live out your purpose.